Hello and welcome back to my Ironman series. In the last episode we were talking about my WoW career, jeez, that makes me sound so bad, but my Hearthstone and how I didn't have a Hearthstone. So in this episode I'll talk about the first time I was playing with friends, that's right. And I was leveling, I was going along. This was still on that first day I'd been playing, and my friends had just come back and they were getting stuff ready for mob. He's like, oh, do you want to run you through any? I was just like, yeah, sure, why not? See, me thinking from previous games is kind of like, to level fast, you've got to, what the hell is that? Is this for Thanksgiving? I'm going to guess so. Alright, so quick recap. So yeah, when I was playing for the first couple of times with some friends, is there a reason to this? Kinda don't understand. Right, alright, whatever. So yeah, in the last episode I was talking about how when I first started the game in the Hearthstone situation, and how I somehow deleted it. Don't even ask me why I deleted it, but I did. And yeah, now we're going to be talking about the first. So this was a couple of hours into me playing, and I made a new character, and I made it a human. Yeah. So I made it a human. Probably the easiest. Often it's like it's easy to get this thing.
For the Alliance.
That should be it. So yeah, yeah, in the last episode I was talking about my Hearthstone situation, and anyway, a couple of hours later I was playing with a friend, and yeah, this guy's he's a good player to say the least, and he was level 85 and he didn't really have much to do a couple of days before Mop came out. He's like, oh, do you want me to level you, or do you want me to power you through some dungeons? I was like, sure. Now me thinking, what I usually thought from other MMOs I played is, so the idea was that you just got basically fed off, you basically just got hypercoded by the top guy. And to me, I didn't think anything of it until I noticed how little experience I was getting for periods of time. I was just like, oh, why am I getting so little experience? It's like, oh, because the idea of this game's not to get carried. I was like, oh, that's a bit interesting. Because every other game I'd played, every other MMO RPG I'd ever picked up was me either getting carried or the leveling experience was kind of easy. This was about the first game where it was I would say an actual grind to get to max level. Like there was a huge grind for me, and it took me a good couple of months to get there. But what the fuck is this shit that they're doing? Anyway. So yeah, another thing too with the Ironman, I don't think I'm allowed to do festival quests. So yeah, we're gonna go down here. So yeah, I was talking to my friend while he was doing it. He's like, no, you don't get carried. I was like, oh, okay, that's a bit interesting. He's like, no, it's all good. You'll get there. Okay, I didn't know they put Stonewind guards there. Anyway, but yeah, Jesus, I've started this story about 3 or 4 times. Anyway, he was running me through dungeons, and he was like, no, you gotta go level yourself. So I was like, oh, okay. And as I noticed, as I slowly went on, I was like, oh, this is interesting. He's like, what? He's like, I've never had this much of a grind in a game. It's like, what do you mean? It's just like, oh, well, the other games I've played, such as a simple game even such as RuneScape and stuff, it was always a grind, but you could always switch to do something else. As in when you're doing quests and stuff, skills and stuff, you can just switch skills. And okay, I'm guessing those are for Thanksgiving, but yeah, and he was like, oh, no, don't. He's like, nah, it's a huge grind. Well, it's not as bad as it used to be, but there's still a grind now. It's like, oh, okay. And he was like, So I was like, shit, I've lost my train of thought, give me a second. And he was like, no, it's not as bad as the grind used to be, but there's still definitely grind to get to the next level. It's like, oh, okay. And, so yeah, I was going along. The worst thing I ever did was, my first ever proper character I actually got close to leveling was a guy called Corrupt Master, and I played by myself and I did my thing while they were all playing mop, and I got from 1 to 60 in about, I only took a couple of days, and my friends were really surprised. He was like, oh shit, that's a rare. Anyway, that's a bit surprising. I'll respond to that in a minute. But yeah, that animal has been there since fucking WOD. No, not even WOD. Since Kata. This was the character that pissed me off the most. I am not joking. In my leveling era, this was the character that pissed me off the fucking most. It annoyed the living shit out of me. Cause watch, you go, no, evades everything. It's like, for fuck's sake. I don't know if that's just a troll, or that's supposed to be actually, they just forgot to fix the spawn points. This is another cave that I don't like, because you can... Right, that mob spawn there. Anyway, so yeah, I was, yeah, so that's the guy. This is the guy that I was playing with at the period of time. And, he was like telling me, he's like, no, you gotta level yourself. And anyway, I did it in about 60, I got from 1 to 60 in only a couple of days. And I was like, oh, that's surprising. It's like, yeah, I don't know what it is. People seem to be on and leveling at the moment. And then he realized, he's like, oh, you know why? It's because people are doing, people are playing mop, right? I was like, mop. He's like, yeah, there's a new class out. And at this point I'd only known up to Kata, and I didn't know that a new expansion had come out, even though the amount of advertising he ever did, I never really understood the game. And really the reason I ever got into this game was because of, there's level 6 by the way, but the only reason I ever got into this game was because of the Lich King. And I've always stated this to my friends, like the reason I got into it, because I was fighting the Lich King. Anyway, at level 60, a couple of friends were like, they reached level 90, they did everything they needed to do, and they kind of quit. I was like, oh, okay, that sucks. Like, no, it's all good. They kind of like, they're the kind of guys that play the game for the leveling experience and do a bit of dungeons just to see what the game's like at the end game, but they're not back at the old Wrath of the Lich King days, which I've been told about, which is where people loved the living shit out of the game and no-lifed the fuck out of it. Like, even this guy here was in a really good guild. And he's the guy I play CSGO with on a fair period of time, but yeah. And I was, and he gave me about 500 gold. And I was like, oh shit, that's an absolute shit. Because up until this point I barely got 50, 60 gold. I was like, oh sweet, this buys me my mount, this buys me everything. I was really happy. And then I bought all that stuff and realised it only cost about 50, 60 gold anyway. I was like, oh, what should I do with the rest of my money? And the first thing was, because I didn't really understand how this game worked. I thought it kind of worked off, because the game I played previous to this was MapleStory, and I only played it for a short period of time, but I thought that's how it might work. How a level 60 weapon can take you all the way up to like a level 120, the max level on there being 200 obviously. But yeah, so I was like, oh, I'll go buy really good staff. Silly me thinking, should have realised really quickly that that it wasn't to be, and yeah. So I spent about, I'd say about 500k on stuff that you see a load of people buying on Transmods now for about 30, 40 gold. I looked it up just before. It brought back so much nostalgia that day with my friends like, what are you doing? You just wasted so much gold, because these guys are like farming for a couple of days, spend most of a bit of mop, getting some gold together. Anyway, I threw the gold away, and I was like, and then looking back on it, it was a really stupid decision to do it. I should have just taken a step back and realised how, or should have asked one of them. So yeah, I tip to anybody, I highly doubt anybody new's coming to this, but a tip for players is to don't buy gear, just just forget about buying gear for a long period of time because yeah, forget about buying gear for a long period of time until you get to like really level 100 and you've got a ridiculous amount of gold, and I'm saying over maybe 200, 300k, is when you can actually start buying stuff. Because what I came to figure out this expansion was when I was playing the last expansion, I'd saved up about 80k. I thought 80k, and I looked up all the prices of stuff, and I looked up not transmog prices. I looked up like prices of the entire garrisons and all that, and I saved up about 2 to 300k. And I was like, yep, I'll be sweet. Anyway, I came to figure out that just wasn't enough. Like maybe I needed a couple of hundred. I maybe needed 30, 40k more, because just before the expansion dropped, the huge
see you around.
The huge change to what's happening. Jesus, I'm really bad with words at the moment. Heirlooms, that's the one. A huge change happened to heirlooms, and I spent about 100 to 200k on the game, and I was like, oh, okay, it's a bit interesting. Like, I spent 200k, and I was like, oh shit, I must not have a lot of gold. Anyway, got back to about 200k just before the expansion hit. Luckily, I had a couple of TCG mounts saved up, so I sold all those just after the expansion hit. And shit, I'm gonna use that in. Yep, I'll upgrade that. No, I'll put on that one.
I supply only the finest goods.
Yeah, I highly doubt you've got the finest goods, mate. Any stuff?
What are you looking for?
Ooh, that stuff though. Nah, it's not what I'm looking for. Not for a silver. I've got 15. Alright, so yeah, shit. What do I do now? Alright, so we'll go down here and we'll pick up the quest down at the bottom of this street here. Oh, for fuck's sake! So yeah. This kid's seriously following me. And he's gone. Okay then. That was weird. Anyway, moving on. But yeah, that was it's another interesting story about WoW and how you shouldn't, when you're leveling, do not buy gear. Like, even the thing about Ironman is you have to buy gear at points, because staves that you get, like, you don't get that many whites later on. So you'll see me buy gear in these kind of episodes, because it's needed to a point, considering most merchants sell whites and they're pretty good. So that's what'll happen by by probably about level 20, level 30. We're buying some whites off the off stores, and I'll have to look up the prices and stuff and make sure I'm getting the best whites in the area for my levels. But yeah, it should be interesting to say the least, considering I would not the greatest at leveling. I've done just some pretty stupid stuff, but I'll see how I go. Like, at the moment it's going alright, but this is like the starting area where even someone that was like had like no gear on plus the staff could probably get through this. Yeah, could get through this zone pretty easily, I would say. Anyway, as we're walking down here, yeah. Sorry if I'm rambling a bit. It's just this walk here is taking some time. I might speed this up, I'm guessing, so I might finish the episode off when I'm down. Holy fuck, this walk is so long. The walk goes down to all the way near that creek, so we're only about halfway now. Past the famous Wizard's Tower, I think. Yeah, Wizard's Tower. But yeah. Yeah, because I remember I was playing on a vanilla private server. Okay, this was the story I was telling until I get to there. I was playing on a vanilla private server once, and I stood around, I think it was around here. It was somewhere close to here, and I was just looking up at that, and I was just like, and I looked around a bit, and I noticed how this game's changed so much since I would have ever played. There was so much in change between when I played and when vanilla people played, and noticing off leveling how leveling took about a month of solid game time to get from 1 to 60. Just 1 to 60. Now you can get from 1 to 60 in about a day, I would say, if you actually grinded it out hard with heirlooms and everything. But yeah, it's insane to think about. Fuck's sake. I can't do that quest yet. Alright, well I'll leave it here, YouTube. I've come to completely the wrong point, so I'll probably start the next episode when I'm over there, near the mine, for this quest here. Anyway, YouTube, I'll leave it there. I hope you've had a good time watching. If you want me to continue just talking and explaining my fuck, I've got to stop saying that. My WoW time when I've been playing, and some interesting stories I've done, I can surely continue that on for you, but it's really up to you guys. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video, YouTube.